Production. We're gonna reminisce. It's my last year of college. I'm about to graduate, and I can't help but look back to the year of 2020 when I first graduated, and I decided to tell both my Ghanaian parents my future education plans. And of course, they only told me one thing, that I could end up like three things: a lawyer, a doctor, or a failure. So I decided to go again with their route. And I entered a major that didn't quite fit me. And of course, college was fun. I learned plenty of things. For example, stealing oranges and fruits from my dining hall, to selling plasma to make rent. But one thing also, it taught me the difference between hustle and struggle. Of course, I didn't stick to the major that didn't suit me. I decided to switch, thank God. But it taught me that I should hustle for my future, but I shouldn't struggle while doing it. Today, I'm joined by these lovely ladies and gentlemen. We're gonna kind of introduce ourselves. So let's start with like first name, social media, and then majors that we're doing in school. So we're gonna start with Derek and then kind of loop around back to me.
Yo, my name is Derek. Instagram name vibe underscore with Derek. I'm going to school for computer science.
My name is Dennis. My Instagram is Dennis underscore. I'm majoring on cybersecurity.
Hi, my name is Busayo. My Instagram is only Busayomi, and I am currently studying biomedical engineering on the pre-med track.
Hi everyone, my name is Ife. My Instagram handle is iomiku_Lara, and I'm currently going to school for health sciences.
Yo, my name is Joshua. My Instagram name is officially underscore Joshua, and I'm going to school for IT/cybersecurity.
And I'm your host, Debbie Mensa. I'm completing my last year of college with political science and econometrics under my belt, and hopefully I can get into law school with those two majors. We're going to take a brief break. Also, my Instagram handle is down here, W with two E's, Mensa. Sorry about that. But we're going to take a quick break, and we will be right back with you shortly. So just hang in there. So the first question for today, to kind of get into the topic of struggle and hustle, what is hustle and struggle to you guys, like culturally?
I think like hustle for me is like actually like going to work, doing the things you love, going back home and being satisfied. And I think struggle to me, like struggle culture, is like going to work because like you're supposed to do it and like doing something that you absolutely hate but only staying in it just for the money.
No, I definitely get you. It's definitely like the difference between them. I feel like it's definitely like that passion concept. Like,
Yeah.
what am I doing this for? Am I doing it to appease another group of people? Or am I actually doing this to like, because I actually love doing what I do?
Well, something that I would say is that I kind of relate the two together. They're kind of synonymous. Hustle and struggle, I think they both encourage toxic work, and it really encourages people to just basically overwork themselves. And it's just glamorifying like just constant case of struggling, working, like a constant cycle. And I think our life is built on more than that.
I'll say struggle. I think is like the difficulty like someone faces trying to like reach your goal, and I think hustle is like straight hard work. Yeah.
Yeah. So how do you guys feel like, I know we said our majors in the beginning, right? How do you guys feel like culturally? Actually, before we start, could I ask what country are you guys from? So I'm Ghanaian.
I'm Ghanaian.
I'm Ghanaian.
I'm Nigerian.
Nigerian.
Okay, so it looks like we got the whole West Africa right now. So like, how do you guys feel like culturally, like your cultural like upbringing, or even like the majors you're about to go through, kind of like changes your perspective on culture and struggle, like not culture and struggle, hustle and struggle?
Well, like my parents like were born and bred from a family that like were like, oh, you have to like struggle in order for you to get what you want. And like I remember my parents telling me that like we don't want you to have that life, like or just because like we struggle doesn't mean like you should too. Like you should like not want to have that same mentality for your kids also. So like even like when they're growing up, they were like, oh, like I used to walk 10,000 miles to go to school, blah blah blah. Like I struggled. I used to work 2,000 jobs and blah 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 blah. And I'm like, I don't think I want that for myself.
Yeah, I want to speak a little bit on that. So, like, my parents, they both immigrated here from Nigeria. And so, like, a lot in their past, especially my dad, like, he did have a lot of struggles in his upbringing. But one thing I've realized, just the way he's raised us, is that he definitely doesn't want us to go through the same struggles that he's had to face. And I definitely don't want to do the struggles that I faced and pass those on to my kids. So, it's really like trying to break the cycle of struggling. So, yeah.
Um, my opinion is different. I feel like it's good to let someone struggle because I say they have to like see like what life is about. Just don't give it to them easy. So I think struggle is a good thing.
No, I get you for sure.
Mm.
Like when you bring up that idea of like watching someone struggle or hustle, kind of makes me think back to like again, let's be reminiscing a lot about college, so excuse me. But it makes me kind of think back to my freshman year. I had a friend who was attempting to start a rap career. And I remember we would sit in the dorm, kind of like a studio little setup, and I would kind of like watch him, and I'm thinking, is he really hustling or is he struggling right now? No offense to his rap skills. Hopefully the homie makes it out the hood, but it's like kind of watching it like to him it was his hustle because he was actually extremely passionate about music. But to us, in our perspective, it was like a struggle. Like we were literally looking up like job applications for him, just in case something didn't work out. So I definitely do agree. Like it's that different approach to it. Do you guys have like examples of like people in your lives or even yourself, like where you guys had to kind of like decide on like a topic or just something like a hobby or a job specifically that you guys personally went through was a hustle or a struggle?
I mean, like for myself, like um up until like eighth grade, like my parents like were giving me an allowance because like they just want you to buy like small stuff on the side and stuff like that. But like up until probably like my sophomore year of high school, I started getting stuff myself. It was like my choice because like I don't want to rely on my parents anymore. Not that I couldn't, I just didn't feel like it anymore. Like I don't feel like, oh, can I have this? Can I have that? And like I feel like I'm probably gonna hear the word no. So like I don't want to bank on them for anything. Like I want to get it on my own. Like I want to be independent.
No, I definitely get you.
I think for me, so an example is kind of like similar to her working in high school, but I don't think I would relate to struggling. I think for me, I've always just been very independent and hardworking. So it's more of a productivity thing. Like I always want to like constantly be striving to achieve my goals. If I have a goal, I'm going to go and do what I can to reach it. So it's kind of more of the hustle mentality, but at the same time, just making sure that it's not just all 24/7 work and you're still taking care of yourself.
Well, my mom said she struggled, right? Like, she used to climb mountains, like, that's that. But the thing is that she still doesn't want me to work, even though she struggled back then, so she, like, it's different for me.
Like, do you guys think that like hustle and like culture, not hustle and struggle, do you think like how do you think it's like shifted like or like shaped for us? Do you think it's like more societal, maternal, parental? Like, where did you guys kind of first like in a sense learn what a struggle versus a hustle was?
So I think it's actually more societal, especially because my only experience really is school. So a lot of times your peers are already doing things, and so it's very common for you to measure yourself according to what your friends are doing, what other people are doing. So that mentality, like, oh, my friend's saying, oh, they're working, they have a job. It's like, okay, so I'm at home doing nothing. So like maybe it's my time for me to get a job. Oh, my friend said they're going to college, they're doing this. Like, okay, that means I need to like catch up to them. So it's the constant thing of like, oh, I need to keep up with my friends. So you're always hustling to reach a goal, but sometimes you have to look back and like, is this actually a goal that I have for myself, or am I just keeping up because I'm feeling pressured to do so?
Yeah, I feel like what like besides said, like I feel like usually it's what we see. So like oh if my friend got a job, then maybe I gotta get a job too.
Yeah.
Or like if they got a little money on the side, maybe I gotta get that too. Like I feel like it's just like a like what you see and like what you're around. And like I feel like the first time like I was introduced to struggle was like when my parents were like telling me how they used to live back then and stuff, and how like they were telling me like, oh, we don't want you to live like that. Like we don't want you to like go through like the tons of stuff that we did. Like we just want you to be comfortable and like be comfortable and like coming to us like if we need anything basically.
No, I get you.
For me, I like to hustle. I don't like asking my parents for something. I just like to get it on my own. And things. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna add up to his what Josh said. I mean, hustling is good, but if you like, let's say you need money, you don't have it, but your parents have it, you gotta ask them. Doesn't mean you gotta go hustle to get it. It's it's pretty much that you could ask and get it, but you don't really have to hustle like to get what you want. Sometimes you just gotta ask for it.
Definitely relate. One quick segue from our discussion. We are currently live on YouTube and Instagram, so please do not be afraid to comment. We would love for you guys to join us in this discussion as well. But to kind of go off of like comparison, like not to get religious or anything, but comparison is one of those things that will definitely leave you in a gutter. Like you sometimes you can't fight comparison. It's like naturally that's something that comes to you. And I feel like with comparison it definitely plays into the part of struggle. As well. It's like I feel like a lot of people choose to struggle or stick to a job simply because they compare themselves to their peers or even their parents comparing themselves to like their other people outside their family. I feel like that definitely like keeps people in that cycle of struggle. Like I'm not gonna lie to you. I think it was the 2022 December. Everybody and their mama was going to Ghana, and I was jealous because I could not afford a $3,000 plane ticket to Ghana. And I had to personally, like, I remember I decided to put in extra hours at work to see if I could like even raise up a little bit of money to catch a flight, right? And I remember I was thinking like, why am I struggling? Like I talk to my people on WhatsApp every day. Like they see my face, I see their face. I'll go anytime I want to. But why am I currently struggling and putting myself into the cycle of struggling simply to get a plane ticket? And I kind of did some self-evaluation, and it was definitely the comparison of my peers going out, having fun, dressing up, looking good. And I was like, I want that too. And of course, that didn't balance out with my college life. My classes were going down a little bit, and it wasn't doing the best for me. But then I kind of took a step back and I said, you know what? I could take a lot of this energy that I'm struggling on and focusing on this one task and hustle for something that's more important, like focusing on my grades. Do you guys feel like society now, like, is there more of a respect for hustling or for like struggle in a sense? And like, not even like focusing on American like struggle, but like, well, Americans like perspectives, but like even like West African like perspectives. Like, which ones do you think is more valued?
I think
Uh,
like the American values are like more valued more
Mm-hmm.
simply because like we just want to hustle, and I feel like if you're a traditional like African woman or man, you're gonna think that you have to struggle in order for you to make it, which is not true. You don't have to struggle to get whatever you want. Like you can also hustle.
Mm-hmm.
So I kind of agree, but something that I wanted to note is that I think in American culture, hustle is something that was very glamorized. But I think now, after COVID, a lot of people are now stepping away from hustle culture and they're looking back into what their goals are, what are their values, and going back to that and stepping away like, oh, I don't have to work 24/7. I can prioritize my family. I can prioritize other things. Meanwhile, in like the West African culture, struggle culture is very something that is glamorized also because like all of our parents or future like in the past they all had to struggle too. Like to get here was a struggle. To afford the lifestyle that they have now, that was a struggle. So that's something that has been very prominent in our community.
No, I definitely get you. I remember when I was a kid and my mom, she had actually gotten some like PTO from her nursing job. And she was telling all like the little African aunties at church, like, yeah, guys, like I'm going on vacation with my husband and my kids, and she's happy. But I could all of a sudden, like, I'm not gonna lie to you, African aunties are very judgmental. But this judgment was, oh, well, Christina, don't you have work to do? Who's gonna clean your home when you go? Like, what are you gonna do? Why are you going to go? You have things to focus on. So I definitely agree with you. Like West Africans, or I think just in general, Africa as a continent, we do really prioritize like struggle, and we see it almost like as like a sense of social mobility, and we respect people who choose to struggle rather than hustle in a sense. Like for example, like previously when I said that my parents told me I could either be three things, right? Those are the things that they thought were again like a form of hustle, but to me now it's kind of like a struggle because I know there are other avenues that I can take to kind of reach the same social status as those same careers, right? And I just feel like personally, like it's definitely a cultural thing too, for sure. Like speaking even on like the black community itself, like they prioritize more so now like the hustle culture. Nobody wants to struggle. Like I know people kind of make jokes on TikTok and they're saying like I will leave a job instantly as soon as I don't like it. My introduction, my first shift, I'm out. If I don't like it, I'm out. But like if you kind of go back to Ghana in a sense or Nigeria, they'll kind of be like, I also believe that it's plays into a factor of government and like getting a job and the access to work as well. That plays a major factor into it. But I feel like in Nigeria, they'll be like, I have to stick to this job. I just got this job. I waited 3 years to just get this job. Even if I don't like it, I will stick to this job. Versus someone in America, yeah, I got this job, but there's other jobs out there. I'm gonna just dip, right?
Um, I feel like in this country, like in America, I don't see people struggling a lot, but in Africa, I think like you don't choose to struggle. You just have to like
Just struggle.
yeah, I mean,
yeah, like you can't choose. You just have to do it to survive. Yeah.
it's like how we was raised. we was raised on to the point that you have to struggle to get something. Like you have to go through what I went through to get what you want, and I don't think like that's right. In America, I think they have a lot of resources and everything is like pretty much intact. You could go here and get a job in Africa. You could get your degree and still don't have a job.
Yeah.
You got it's like connections. You gotta know someone. You gotta pay someone. But in America, you go to school and you finish, you gonna start getting offers and stuff. And I think yeah, it plays a go factor.
One thing I want to say also when you're talking about like Africans and the consistent struggle, I think part of it is like back to the social pressures. But I think it's just
In America, we kind of do have to face a lot of things. Like, for example, a lot of my cousins don't know what rent is. We have our grandfather's home. They've been living in it for years. They don't know what it is. But versus here, I have to balance out school, my job, rent, other bills that I have in my life, but then also sending money to my family overseas simply because they're also struggling. But I do definitely believe there could be like a little bit of struggle, especially when you're in America or like when you first come to America, trying to like get the money up, trying to balance things out in life for sure.
I also feel like traditional Africans think that like America is like the land of opportunities coming from I don't even know where. Like they think it's like the land of opportunities where like okay, you jump off the plane, okay, jump right in. Like that's not how it works. Like I feel like people in Nigeria and Ghana think that like um here like it's so easy to get a job, it's so easy to get a home and stuff. But like I feel like they're glamorizing it a little too much, and they think that like America is like everything. How do I explain it? Like everything bitsy. Like
Yeah.
it's definitely not like that. I feel like they've been misconstrued, and yeah.
No, definitely. I think it's also like the media and the way
Yeah.
America, shout out to America. You've done a really good job of promoting this idea that when you come here, you can easily get a job. That is not true whatsoever. But I feel like, again, a lot of people assume like America is this dream-like place where you're instantly offered work and you can finally get a big old house like after 3 months of being here. But that's not the case at all. Like you also have to struggle a little bit before you can even get into that hustle cycle. Not to like, throw anyone under the bus, but if you are African or an immigrant, a lot of people know how we get here through documentations and falsifying certain things. We have to kind of lie and struggle a little bit to even get to the position of getting a job or even getting an education. And I feel like, yeah, that's definitely a misconception. I think that causes like a lot of like arguments and beef between people. Like, for example, my cousin called me. She asked me to buy her a new phone. In Ghana, we were beefing for like 3 weeks. Eventually, I sent the money out so I could get my cousin back. But it was like to them, in a sense, it's like they presume that okay, everything in America is easy for her. Like, why isn't she giving me this money? Like, why is my cousin being greedy to me now that she's in America? She thinks she has some type of big head. She's a big ego. Like.
But then again, it's like it's not really their fault, kind of, because like of how America's portrayed.
Yeah.
America's portrayed like this big fancy place where you can get stuff for easy. I mean, get stuff easily, but that's not how it is. Like it's let me not lie, it's media's fault. So yeah,
Most definitely. Do you guys think that like with hustle and struggle, it's different for men and women?
definitely because misogyny. So that's
Definitely.
yeah, misogyny.
Mm-hmm.
Because like if you're a woman, oh you can't do this, you can't work there and stuff. It's misogyny. And like you don't really hear that you don't really hear that to a black man. Like you don't really hear the same thing.
What do you guys think? The male of the panel.
What was the question?
So do you think that hustle and like struggle are different for men and women?
Yeah.
For men, yeah, I think man, you're supposed to like, let's say you have like a family, you have to struggle to like for your family to like, you have to provide for like your family to live. So I think men definitely struggle more than women.
An example is there's a perception women gotta cook and the man gotta go find money. I don't think that's right. I mean, it's cool if you know how to cook, but you don't have to cook. It's not like you're. I don't know how to explain it. Like you could cook, but you don't have to. If you want to, we could go out and eat.